Hello everyone. I'm Dr. Smriti Batoye, Assistant Professor in the Department of Zoology, Maharaja Agrasen University, Baddi. Today we will going to discuss the topic Taenia solium. So first of all, it is a human parasite and also known as poke tapeworm, arm tapeworm, and it causes mostly teniasis and cystic sarcosis. And this parasite belongs to the kingdom Animalia, phylum Platyhelminthes, class Cestoda, order Cyclophilidae, family Taenidae, and the genus is Taenia and species is Taenia solium. And next, we will going to discuss the parasite habitat. It mostly lives in the small intestine of the human. And if we talk about its habit, it mostly present in the intestine of the human, and with the help of their suckers and hooks, it attached to the intestinal mucosa. It exhibits two kinds of host. One is man, which is known as the primary host, and second is the pig, which is known as the secondary host and also known as the intermediate host. They complete their life cycle in two hosts. They exhibit respiration, which is anaerobic, and they reproduced by self-fertilization, as Taenia solium is a hermaphrodite. Hermaphrodite means they exhibit both male and female reproductive structure in a single worm. Now, if we talk about the morphology of Taenia solium, their body is long, tape-like, flattened, opaque, or white in color, and the adult, it is mostly about 2 to 4 meter in length, and it is the largest human parasite which is present in our body. Now, if we talk about their body division, the Taenia solium is divided into three regions. The anterior-most region is known as head, or also known as, in case of this parasite, scolex. Next part is the middle part, which is the smallest part in the body of the Taenia solium, which is neck. And after that, the longest part of the Taenia solium body is posterior body, which is also known as strobila. So first of all, we will going to discuss the anterior head or scolex. So in case of Taenia solium, the anterior most part is known as scolex, which is helpful in their attachment to their host. This scolex is consist of 4 hemispherical shaped suckers, and these are embedded with muscular structures. On the anterior tip of this scolex, there is present a retractile organ which is known as rostellum. This rostellum is guarded by 2 rows of hooks, and these hooks will helpful for the parasite to attachment with the host body. If we talk about the number of hooklets which are present in nearby the rostrum, there are 20 to 50 hooklets are present near the rostrum, and this rostrum is a retractile organ. Afterward, the anterior head, there is present neck, and this neck is further by proliferation and by budding forms different kinds of proglottids which forms the strobila. So totally in this strobila there are total number of 800 proglottids are formed. Approximately they are divided into 3 regions on the basis of their different structures. Firstmost proglottid is known as immature proglottid, which contains 200 approximately proglottids, and it is known as immature proglottids as they do not contain the developed sex organs. Actually, in these proglottids, the sex organs are under process of the development. They are not fully developed. But after that, there are 300 to 400 proglottids, which are known as immature proglottids. And these mature proglottids are well developed with sex organs. The male and female reproductive system are completely developed in these proglottids. Afterwards, the rest long proglottids are the mature proglottids, or next the last one is known as the gravid proglottids, and in gravid proglottids it is full of eggs. So this is the posterior body part which we will discuss. The anterior region, it contains 200 young proglottids. The middle region, which is contains 400 to 500 mature proglottids. Posterior region, which contains 150 to 250 gravid proglottids. Next, we will going to discuss the life cycle of Taenia solium. I have already told you that they exhibit two hosts. The definitive host is the male, in which the adult form is present, and the intermediate or the secondary host is the pig. But before starting their life cycle, as we already know that Taenia solium is a hermaphrodite, so they do self-fertilization. And after fertilizations, the capsules are formed in the gravid proglottids, and the gravid proglottids, they are full of eggs. So these proglottids, they are mostly present in the intestine of the human, and with the help of the fecal matter, these proglottids shed off from the body of the Taenia solium, and they expose to the environment. And during this whole process, the zygote which is formed in these capsules, they develop into a embryo. See how this zygote is developed into an embryo. This zygote undergo cleavage and form different shapes of blastomeres, micromeres, mesomeres, and macromeres. The micromere, which what will it will do? The micromere, it will forms the embryo, while as the mesomere and the macromere, they will helpful in the formation of the membranes of the embryo, in which the embryo is embodied. So the micromere, what it will do, it will develop into an embryo, and this embryo is known as hexacanth embryo. And this hexacanth embryo is surrounded by two layers, the inner layer and the outer layer, or this is formed by the meso and macromeres. After the formation of this, the inner layer, it swelled up and they form the embryophore layer. And now the hexacanth with the embryophore is known as oncosphere. This oncosphere, finally, it released into the environment and is viable for their host. And when the pig, it ingested this capsule which contains this embryo with their membranes, it will enter into the body of their secondary host, which is pig. And after consuming this oncosphere, the digestive juices of the pig, it digests the outermost layer of the capsule, and now the hexacanth larvae is exposed in the intestine of the pig. In the intestine, there is the secretion of the parasite which will cause hole inside the body of the pig, and with this it enters into the circulation, and finally it circulate and enter into the muscle cells. Inside the muscle cells, now this hexacanth larva, it loses its hooks, and they form an invagination over here, and slowly this invagination occurs and it extended and forms a proscolex. The inside cavity, it is filled with fluid. So when this is filled with fluid, the proscolex, it is formed inside this embryo. Now this is known as bladder worm. Slowly this inverted bladder worm, it is started growing outside of this layer, and now this bladder worm, with the help of this colex, it attached with the intestine of the body, but it is only entered into the human body when the human, it consume uncooked or raw meat which contains the cyst of this parasite. So human, it is only exposed to this oncosphere by consuming uncooked food or contaminated food or contaminated water. So after entering into the human body, with the help of the scolex, the parasite, it attached with the intestine of the human, and slowly the neck portion of the parasite, it start proliferating, budding off, and forming different proglottids, and the cycle continue. This parasite cause different types of diseases in the humans, and the most important disease that it cause in the human is cysticercosis. Cysticercosis is of different types: mucocysticercosis, neurocysticercosis. Mucocysticercosis mostly occur in the skin, while as the neurocysticercosis, it is an accidental case which occurs when the parasite, it cross the blood-brain barrier and settle in the brain. Then it causes neurocystic cirrhosis. So hope you will like this video. Thank you.